everybody? Man, we are stoked. It is a great Thursday night show. Welcome to another LTS show. I am your host, Bodkins, as always. Well, sometimes not always, but I am your host, your main host, the guy steering this ship. I'm super excited. We got a packed show tonight. Man, we're going to be doing a little NFC North preview with our guy Dan Bronson. And then the second hour, UFC 291 happening this Saturday. So we got to bring our guy Whit back on from Rec Room Sports. We're going to be talking all things UFC 291. We're going to break down that card. We're going to be breaking down the NFC North, giving our predictions, catching up on the off-season stuff. But let's go ahead and bring the guys in. A guy who's severely depressed right now because his team made a huge offseason trade for one of the best corners in the league, and that guy tore his meniscus today to a practice. None other than Mr. Yankee Finn himself. Johnny Cruz. Johnny,
what's going on, man?
Are you on suicide watch right now, man? The Yankees are in dead last. The Yankees are in dead last. Jalen Ramsey tears his meniscus today. Do you need the suicide hotline? I'm here to talk, man. You can cry on my shoulder if you need to. I know we're a couple states away, but
I appreciate that.
I need to fly down to Florida. I'll just do it. Just tell my wife you're in danger. I just need a good trip down to the beach anyway and take care of you for a few days. Watch over you.
I appreciate that. Nah, I think I'll get through it with the therapy session with you guys tonight. I gotta say it was not a good day today. Yes, like you said, Jalen.
In the opposite words of Ice Cube, it's not a good day.
Absolutely. Jalen Ramsey. Hopefully, it's not a full season type thing, but it's looking like it's going to be at least December at the earliest before the young man can come back. So that sucks. That's a big hit right there. Like you mentioned, the Yankees aren't exactly playing the greatest of baseball, and then of course Dalvin Cook decides that he wants to go to the Jets because your boy decides he wants to, cut his money $35 million. So the Jets look like they probably gonna pick up Dalvin Cook. So yes, it hasn't been the best of days as far as the sports world for myself, but it's all good. I got you guys to help me get through it. We got a great show talking about your division, and then a nice UFC card for this weekend, so I'm looking forward to having some fun tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I hope that's not my strong signal. Is it me? I'm frozen. Are you guys frozen? Are we good? Doesn't matter what I do. Let's go ahead and bring in the next guy. Are we good?
Yeah.
For a second. I think it was probably me.
You're doing all right.
All right.
You're frozen.
All right, sorry. I get the internet fixed. I think it's great. Yeah, hey, it's all great. Tanner, welcome to the super producer. Tanner, as always. Tanner, a lot of news happening in the NFL. Injuries on day camp. Joe Burrow goes down. Who else? The receiver from the Jets. He
Garrett
gets
Wilson,
hurt. Garrett Wilson, he's banged up. Man, can we just get to week one without any more severe injuries? Burrow seems to be just a calf, going to miss preseason and be back week one.
Hopefully.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Like I told the Bengals guys. Mike and I broke it down earlier today on the Sports Buffoons, talking a little bit of the camp news that went down these last couple of days. And I'm excited to get this preview out of the way as well. So
let's go ahead.
He said excited to get the preview out of the way. He don't want to talk about your.
Let's go ahead and bring in our own Mr. Hall of Famer, Scott Cobe.
What up?
Good evening, gentlemen. Johnny, I'm very sorry about you, Jalen Ramsey. If you need a shoulder to cry on, we're all here for you. So,
well, I mean, it's almost.
I don't feel like you're very sorry, Scott.
To the home soon anyway. So,
listen, any injured star in the AFC East that I could possibly find, I'll take. We signed Jalen Hurd from San Francisco fame. So we're set now. We're first place, baby. We're all set.
Hey, true that, Ed. He should call him for that nice referral. Scott, we saw Saquon sign. Pretty much his franchise tag. Got the deal done. You surprised that deal got done, or did we all you expected him to sit out longer? I said he was going to be at week one.
Yeah, I expected him to sit out long. He gave in. He gave in to the Giants. He's only making $11 million, which is $1 million more than the franchise tag that he was going to get. He gave in. You know, they had this conference call last weekend with all the running backs, and then Saquon basically said after the conference call, "Hey, I'm going to go sign with the Giants. If you give me $1 million more, I'll come in." And basically, that's what the Giants said to him. All right, we'll give you $11 million. Boom, done deal. In. Will help his career, no doubt. He better have a big year this year. I mean, he's betting on himself big time this year. So if he doesn't do anything near what he needs to do, he's not getting near the $11 million in a contract that he wants. So, but he gave it. He basically gave in, which ticks me off because you said all this stuff. You're not coming in. You want your money. You want this, that, the other. You're not breaking the bank. And then you just say, all right, give me $1 million more, and I'm in.
I told you he was bluffing. I told you guys that. I told you he ain't gonna miss game checks. I tried telling you guys that over and over again. Last Thursday I missed the show. I had to work. You guys had Sam hold down the fort. It was a disaster. And then he just goes on a hiatus.
Disaster.
I mean, I know it's hard damn work hosting and doing this show with you three, and then you add him into the X. I mean, it makes it even harder. And then he just ghosted us. Never be seen, never heard from. Just goes on a sabbatical. It's like he had to take a whole week off. I mean, I wish I could take a week off every time I hosted the show. I'd be off for 3 years. But here he is. Welcome back, finally, none than Mr. First Down Sam.
Nikki, can't you see? Your frozen screen just hypnotizes me. All right. How we doing, buddy?
I mean, Sam, what have you been at? I know it's just recuperating from hosting last week's disaster of a show.
I didn't quite find it a disaster. My screen didn't freeze. I'll tell you that much. So.
It's not an LTS show unless your screen freezes. That's the problem.
Is that? Yeah, quickly just brush that under the rug real quick.
Can I ask Sam a question?
Absolutely, Scott.
Sam, there was a
back
rumor
in my day.
There was a rumor that Tanner sent you up to the Aaron Rodgers retreat, the darkness retreat. Can you confirm or deny that?
I will confirm that I went and I couldn't see anything and I stubbed my toe. So yeah, it sucks. Not even great. I see Ed in Columbus in chat. That's great.
Ed is back.
Yeah, I love Ed. I love Ed back. He enters like LA Knight and cuts a promo and makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead, boys. Let's jump. We got to jump into it. Our guest is here. We're going to be covering the NFC North. Speaking of cutting promos, high energy guy, host of the Fan Club. You can catch a lot of his stuff and NBA talk here on the LTS show, LTS Network. Give it up for a friend of the program, Dan Bronson, baby.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
You betcha.
You guys are having just a lovely Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Dude, it's a good day. I can't wait for some fantasy football, guys. It's going down. And then we've got the NFC North. This is like the one division. It could go any way you really want to pull it. Like, even some of the sports analysts are saying that the Bears have a chance to go to the playoffs. And you think about it, like, the division's open. I mean, the Vikings were good last year, but they had a lot of holes. The Lions are like the favorites in the preseason, but they've got some holes themselves. They are the Lions, even though this isn't your normal Lions team. This is, they got a lot of studs, but you still got to prove it. The Packers could be sneaky good. Everyone's thinking they're going to suck, so they could come out. And then you got the Bears over here that they're like, if you look at their schedule, it's a pretty easy schedule. Who knows? They could end up with 8 to 10 wins. It's a weird year. I mean, obviously, I'm picking my Vikings to win it all this year. We got Brian Flores with the defense. Like, it's going down. If we can just get Jordan Addison to not be speeding to go save dogs out there, we're going to be all right. Like, because I like our offense. I don't know what's going on, like, with the running back Dalvin Cook thing. I know Jordan Matterson is a beast, but we've never seen him as a full workhorse before. So that is something, you got to keep your eye on. He could be a stud, but if if early we don't see, production from the run game, we're going to call one of these guys that's just sitting there. It's going to happen. Watch it. That's something to kind of keep your eye on.
You're exactly right, Dan. This is a wide open division for the very first time. You can't just say Green Bay. For a long time, it was Aaron Rodgers. You were picking Aaron Rodgers and my Packers almost every year. Minnesota last year had the horseshoe up their previous ass. They won 9 games by 1 score or more. That shit just doesn't happen. The Lions, right? You just said it. The Lions are much improved. It's not supposed to be our daddy's Lions, but my head says maybe I should pick the Lions, but my also head says they're the Lions and they're going to freaking lion and they're going to stink. And then the Bears have made some great off-season moves. And we're here to break it all down. Let's start right there with the Bears last year. They finished 3-14 last year. They lost people leaving this division on this team is they only lost David Montgomery and Nicholas Morrow, but did they add some pieces? Added linebacker Tremaine Williams to $18 million. Huh?
Didn't leave the division.
They added DJ Moore. Didn't leave the team. They missed David Montgomery and Nicholas Morrow are gone from the team. Here are the teams, the guys that they added on this team. Yeah. Tremaine Edmonds, $18 million. Traded for DJ Moore, added TJ Edwards. So they added that linebacker help, added Deontay Foreman. Bob Tunyon comes to the team as well. I lost their draft class somewhere. Oh, I had their save their draft class, but I don't know where it went. So I had a decent draft as well.
Right.
But
Terrell Smith, Noah Sewell,
there we
Tim
go.
Williamson, Gervin Dexter Sr., Zach Pickens, and then Tyler Scott.
They had a nice draft.
Dan, let's start with you. What's your prediction on this Bears? Where do you think they finish in this tough division, and what do you think their record's going to be?
I think they're going to double their record. I give them 6 wins. I think they're going to be better, but the biggest hole that I still don't think they fully committed to is the offensive line. And yes, they do have some wide receivers, but Fields got to show that he can throw, and he's not going to have a pocket. So is he going to be able to just run around again and make some things happen? Now he has some guys that can actually catch it. I give it to him, but I just don't think that they've done enough to get them out of the basement. They're at the basement door now. They're making the right improvements. They've got some picks in the next few years. They're rebuilding the right way. I just don't see them at 8 or 9 wins. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me based off that schedule. It's a pretty easy schedule, but I give them 6 wins. I'm going to say that they double their production.
Tanner, what's your thoughts here on the Bears?
Look, I love what they added. I love the offense. I think Justin Fields now has a way to actually become a quarterback, an effective, consistent quarterback now, because he's still young enough he can use his legs, right, without getting in trouble. So I'm looking here at this team here. I love the defense. I think they made enough. They invested in the freaking defense on the draft, which is exactly what they need to do.
And in free agency. Tremaine Edmonds.
Tremaine Edmonds,
TJ Edwards,
Billings, DeMarcus Walker, Rashad Green, Justin Jones. They went at it. They definitely went at it on this play. But you guys are gonna hate me for this because I did the same thing in the studio. This team, it's a playoff caliber. They don't have to do much in this division, okay? But it's a playoff caliber. This is your first place team leading the North in the NFC. Not too far from maybe another team, but I think this team comes through more impressive. DJ Moore is going to be your one. He's going to be a really high value guy towards the end of the season for this team. And Tyler Scott comes out of nowhere and impresses people. Give me this team. Finish first. I love me some.
Wow.
Hot. Hey,
I want out the gates hot.
I want Tanner to drink the Levis special if he's not. If they don't do it. All right.
No.
Yeah, take it. Come on.
Yeah.
You're gonna make that hot take. You gotta take it, man. Come on.
Hot take Tanner. Take Tanner.
Awful.
Let's go ahead with you, Sam. Let's go with you. What's your thoughts here on the Bears, a team that had the first overall pick last year?
I've seen this story play out. I've seen it played out in my franchise twice. It's a running quarterback who doesn't throw the ball very well. Okay? No, they're going to be middling. I'm with Dan on this one. I don't believe in the draft class. I don't believe their offensive line has improved enough. I don't believe. They got to make me believe, and I don't think it's going to happen. So, no, Tanner can do whatever blow he's doing in there to make him believe that they're going to win that division.
Hey, I need to get whatever drug guy Tanner's on.
Yeah,
Tanner's
woo!
here.
Let me in. He's got that Heisenberg meth. You know what I mean? It's just like, 89% pure. Love you, Tanner.
Go, Scott. Go ahead, and then Scott, when we come back, I'll come back to you for your fantasy
Sam,
and your
where'd you have
gambling.
Huh?
So
Where'd you have him?
So what? Sam,
What do you mean?
Bears?
Oh,
Yeah, how many wins? Record.
What place you got him?
I'll go one more than Dan. I'll give him 7. I think they'll
Still
take
last
one.
place.
You still
Yeah,
got
still
him
last
last.
place. I still got him last place.
All right,
Okay.
Scott.
So earlier in the season at OTAs, the offensive coordinator said to the press, "We're not gonna lessen Justin Fields running. He's gonna keep running. Always a running quarterback. He's gonna run. He's not going to throw the ball effectively. I don't believe that offensive line will not give him the time he needs to throw the ball. DJ Moore is going to have to run 2-yard routes and out or 2-yard and in. So I think Chicago finishes 6-11 this year.
Dead last still.
Dead last. Yep.
Johnny, are you smoking the
Wow.
same stuff as Tanner, or you got on everybody else here? What everybody else got?
Well, I mean, I thought I was going to be a little bold by saying they can win 8 games because of what Dan said with the schedule. I like the pieces that they got for Justin Fields because he's going to use his legs like they said, and I don't think it's not like he's going to be throwing it 50 yards deep every time. So it's going to be short passing game type stuff. So I think they have an opportunity to win games. I was thinking anywhere between 7 and 8 wins for them. And I thought that was being bold, but Tanner just like, wow. So I'm going to go right in the middle of that. I'll still give them the 8 wins and say they go 8 and 9. They get a little better. I think Justin Fields is going to make just enough plays for them to win some games. And like Dan said, that schedule is cake. So I think they win a lot of games. I think they win a fair amount of games considering they had the first pick overall last year.
What last place then for you?
I actually have them tied for last place.
So what
Okay.
tiebreaker? Who do you give it to? Where do you
Yeah.
put them?
I'm putting them right above Dan's
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, so the Bears.
I had to, yes.
Wow.
All right, so the Bears, I like Fields. I really do. I like the move for DJ Moore. DJ Moore's been catching passes by bad quarterbacks his whole dang career. I mean, he was catching passes from Kyle Allen to Joe Blow to Joe Borowski
PJ
to
Walker.
PJ Walker and putting up 1,000 yards receptions. Like he would already be, if he had those numbers and he was a Bear the whole time, he'd be the Bears all-time wide receiver in receiving yards. Like that's how bad the Bears wide receivers are, and they finally got a guy. Then you got Darnell Mooney now at the 2, and if Chase Claypool ever decides to play football again, that's a nice 3. And they just signed Cole Kmet to a nice contract extension yesterday, so they're going to use him. But here's the problem, Bears, and this is my problem with your damn fan base too. Is like you guys, I love Justin Fields. I'm a Packers fan. I think the kid's the world. But you get on Bears Twitter, and they're just split 50-50. There's people who absolutely trash him and thinks he stink, and then you got guys who are on the other end who thinks he's the second coming of Jesus, which he's not that either. But right now, he was probably one of the best Bears quarterbacks to ever lace him up talent-wise. They just haven't had any good quarterbacks. So I'm going to say because of that, the Bears don't deserve Justin Fields, and they don't deserve to be any damn good this year either. I think they're going to get 6 to 7 wins. They're going to improve. I'm going to say 6 wins, and they're going to finish dead last. Get the Bears last.
Hammer that shit.
Our next team, give us your fantasy tidbit and our gambling tidbit to hammer home.
So
Drink some water, Nick. Drink some water. That was beautiful.
Yeah, drink some water. My
Stay
fantasy
hydrated.
forward
It's hot out
I'll
here.
go with the running back with the Bears, and it's Khalil Herbert. He could be the Tony Pollard of the Bears team in terms of catching the ball out of the backfield. He's not going to run it a lot. It's going to be Deontay Foreman and later in the season, Roshan Johnson, who they drafted from Texas. So Khalil Herbert could be a force in the passing game, in the short dump off passing game for Justin Fields to alleviate
The
the
league's
pressure.
always better with the KU running back. So
Yep. So two betting angles that I have on Chicago. One, DJ Moore over under 800 yards. If you go over, it's minus 120. If you go under, it's plus 105. The second betting angle I have is Justin Fields over under 18 and a half passing touchdowns. The over is plus 130. The under is minus 130. I go the over.
I go over too.
He just needs to throw one touchdown pass basically every game. I'm going the over. I think he's going to end up with like 324, somewhere in there.
And all it takes is one or two bad defenses to just give him 3 or 4, and then you're in. I like that one. Okay, thanks for that.
Hey, let's
The
jump
other
into
Justin Fields one before you go,
ahead.
Nick, is over under 825 rushing yards. That's the other one I saw today. I go under on that because I think they're going to try to make him a passer. So
one more thing here too is on this comment here, RG3 weighed like $1.50 soaking wet. Justin Fields is a big thick kid, so Justin Fields ain't gonna he ain't gonna break as easy as RG3 is.
Super thick.
As RG3 did. So I think Fields is. I mean, there was another quarterback in the AFC North who was more of a runner than a passer, and he wound up winning an MVP. Not saying Justin Fields is going to do that, but I'm just saying they're going to tailor the offense similar to that, to where he is going to run the ball. Like you said, Nick, I love DJ Moore, so they're going to surprise some people. And again, that schedule is cake, so they might win a few more games than most people expect.
All right, let's get into the team that we're going bottom to top from last year's ranking. So it's my Green Bay Packers. They went 8-9. Obviously, we know they traded Aaron Rodgers away, but not only that, they also lost Alan Lazard, Adrian Amos.
Yeah, when did this happen? Hold on.
What the heck? You got to figure this out.
What?
When did
They
Aaron
did
Rodgers
not-
get traded?
Yeah, they did not
I
trade
saw him
him.
wearing green the other day. He's just wearing green.
Yeah, they trade him. He's wearing a new green. Aaron thinks he's in. Aaron's so high on ayahuasca, he thinks he's in Green Bay still, wearing that different green.
Hold on a minute. Alan Lazard is one of his receivers, right? So
Exactly.
He didn't leave Green. Tanner, did he leave Green Bay?
I don't think he left. I think Nick's lying.
I don't
again.
think so either.
And then they lost Adrian Amos, who also went to the Jets. Randall Cobb, who also went to the Jets. They lost Jaron Reed, Dean Lowry, and Robert Tonyan, and they absolutely signed zero of anybody of any significance. I did like their draft class. They went defense, as always, in the first round, where they got Van Ness from Iowa, who's an absolute stud. Drafted 2 tight ends, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, and Jaden Reed in the second round as a receiver. Was kind of their top 4 or 5 draft picks. Kobe Wooden in the 5th round. And then they get their backup quarterback, who could be starting in 6 games, according to Brian Gutekunst, is Sean Clifford. I mean, Jesus. Dan, do my Packers got a chance? Where do you got my Packers at?
I got them at a decent 8. I got them at 8 wins, and maybe through time it might go up or down depending on what Jordan Love is, right? I can't. I'm kind of in the middle on it because
we don't know, Dan, right? We don't know. Nobody knows. We don't know.
And as a whole, even if I haven't seen all the Madden ratings yet, but if you're playing Madden, even with Love in there right now as a team, they have a bunch of playmakers. So, like, of course, if they were to have 8, 9, or 10 wins, I could see that. But I could also, if Jordan Love ain't the guy, if he can't even be 70% of what Aaron Rodgers is, then it could be lower. Maybe they could be last place. So I'm going to give them 3rd in the division at 8 wins, but it's a promising 8 wins. If Jordan Love can produce, it will go up.
Hey, let's go with you, Johnny. What do you think of my Packers? I know you were a big Aaron Rodgers believer. Are you going to be a Jordan Love believer?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before, and I think Jordan Love's going to be better than what you're thinking, because I know you really don't have much faith because, again, we don't know for sure, but I think he's going to surprise some people. I felt better about it before your knucklehead GM decided to just shit on the poor kid. So now I'm a little. I mean, I had him, 9 or 10 possible wins. I mean, I'm gonna keep it there. So I got them winning 9 games, and I got them actually finishing second in the division. Like I said, I think he's gonna play pretty. He's not gonna be nowhere near. He's not gonna be 60% of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers came out the gates firing, and you knew he was just gonna be special. But I think he's gonna be a good player. I think Watson's going to take a nice step. You still got that backfield of Jones and Dillon. I don't know who's going to protect him on the offensive line, but I think he's going to make some plays. I think he's going to surprise some people. I got the Packers at I'll give them 9 and 8, bro. They're going to win 9 games for you this year. So they're going to have a winning season for you, bro.
Second
I
place?
got him in second place.
All right, Johnny. That's why we're friends. Go ahead, Scott.
Just for you, bro. Just for you.
Okay. So love their running backs. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. Completely love them. They're one of the better tandems in the NFL. Their wide receiving depth concerns me without question. When you got Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, good 1-2 punch. Okay. If one of them gets hurt, the wide receiver 3 is Samari Toure. I'm not signing up for the Samari Toure revenge tour because it ain't happening. Jordan Love needs more weapons in the passing game to go for a number 3 receiver than Samari Toure. Okay. Gutekunst has done this kid no favors this year. 0 favors in the passing game. Those tight ends is going to take a year or 2 for them to catch up to the NFL game and to be solid NFL tight ends. So to me, their passing game, they better not get behind in games because if they do, they're in deep trouble because they're going to have to abandon the run and go with Jordan Love and throw into those other receivers beside Watson and Doubs. So to me, I give them 5 wins this year.
You got us dead last.
No, excuse me. I give them 6 wins. They'll win the tiebreaker with the Bears. So I say 6-11. They'll finish 3rd place because they'll beat the Bears in the tiebreaker. So, but I don't have any hope that they're going to even sniff close to a playoff spot.
Sam, are we stinking? Are we stinking like your Titans?
No, we have D-Hop now, right? You think he's amazing. Anyway,
I do think I'll take D-Hop on my team right now, please.
I'm sure you would. You're going to love this take, though. First of all, every time y'all say your GM's name, I think I'm like Gesundheit, bless you. Like that's how I feel every time you say his name. That's what goes through my head every single time. When it comes to the Packers, though, here's the thing, guys. I really love Sean Clifford. I think he comes in for Jordan Love, and they start winning some games.
Oh my God!
I do. Bro. I believe it. I believe it. Jack Daniels, obviously, but
homemade shine.
It's sitting here. Hey, look, my aunt makes that. Okay. If Tanner gets to say the Bears are going to win the division, I'm going to say Sean Clifford comes in and we get the next Aaron Rodgers magazine cover with him looking intently down the field and everything like that.
We're going to lose all credibility of this show already, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I really like Sean Clifford. And I think you get to 9 wins some way, somehow, either the good defensive game or the running back.
Sean Clifford's getting us 9 wins?
No. Jordan Love will get some. I think he's going to get injured or he's going to get benched for having some bad performances back to back. That's what I believe.
Wow. Sam, if Sean Clifford's the quarterback, we're gonna have to look for Nick on Suicide Watch because
you have
to worry about me and Nick.
Here's the shtick: when one of you says a bad take, everybody's going to go, "Oh, okay, that's cool," whatever. And then as soon as I say something outlandish, it's like, "Fuck, Sam, jeez, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah, okay. That's awful.
The hell, you're awful. God,
wait, you had him at 3rd place or 2nd?
I have him at 3rd. Yeah.
Tanner, go ahead. I know you hate our team, so go ahead and thrash us here. I'll give you the floor.
Let me talk to you.
What the hell is this? What is this roster I'm looking at? I don't get it. Jordan Love, who I've seen 2 or 3 times now this last couple of years, atrocious. You don't even have Devontae Adams to save you this time. Let's be real. You go to the receivers list, you think Christian Watson's special? Rodgers makes these guys special. It's not a random low-level quarterback like Jordan Love. You're playing with low-level receivers now. and that's because their skill, because what they got. Rodgers uplifts everybody, just like a Mahomes, just like a Brett Favre, that kind of deal. 2 tight ends. Why are we drafting 2 freaking tight ends on the Packers?
We can run the ball.
Freaking tight ends,
Right.
Like there's vet guys out there you can make do. Like you can make do with one. Like draft one and be done. Your receivers suck. Your line's gonna be decent. I think you'll be all right there. Your tight ends will be decent now because you got 2 rookies. Outside of that,
Nick over there, bloop 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 bloop.
Running back. I don't need to say more about the running backs. We all know these 2 guys are solid. They're going to freaking get their touches. They're going to be in the receiving game. This is a very high fantasy profile running back duo, if you don't know about that yet. Defense-wise, guys, I mean, almost the same old outside of Preston Smith. Lucas Van Ness is, the first overall pick. I think you could have done better. But great depth for that linebacking core. Carl Brooks, of course. I like that guy in the 6th round there for you. Colby Wooden should be decent. So, the line should be pretty decent. You keep going around the way. Devondre Campbell for a linebacker. Rashawn Gary's already on the pup. Who knows if he's going to make it back before week 1 at this point. Justin Hollins, I like that picked up there for depth-wise. Jerry Alexander got exposed last year thanks to, Justin Jefferson. I don't think he's going to be worth a darn.
What?
Yeah.
What did you say?
What?
Jair Alexander got exposed. He was gritty and on the grittier.
He's a top 5 corner, bro.
Are not going to be able to do much without a rushing attack going into play for that line deep. It's not going to look good, guys. It's not looking good. And you got a rookie kicker. You already have kicking problems with old man Crosby. Now we got to deal with a rookie kicker when there's other guys out there who got cut that you could have picked up. You know how many games that you guys lost because of your freaking kicker last year, Crosby? You're going to lose even more this year because he's going to blow a bunch of extra points and blow a bunch of kicks. This team, no, I'm not done yet, actually. Let's go down the
Haterade. Keep sipping on your Haterade.
All right.
Wow.
Bears, Falcons, Saints, Lions, Raiders.
We know you only got them as 2 wins.
Right? No, I'm not done yet. Broncos, Vikings. I'll give you the Rams, okay, because they're dumb. Steelers, Chargers, Lions, Chiefs, Giants, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, Chicago. You get swept by Chicago. You get swept by Detroit. You get swept by Minnesota. Give me 3 wins for this Packers team.
All right.
Coming into play. Clean house. Everybody's gone. And it's time for a reset there in Green Bay. Finally, for the first time in what has it been? 30 years? So
before I go
with the first
pick
in the 2024 NFL draft, the Green Bay
I'll be
Packers
okay.
select.
I'll be okay if we fire Goody. Like I'll be okay with that. That's the only part I hope you get right on.
You wouldn't have to lose freaking Aaron Rodgers if you freaking fired his butt 2 years ago.
I agree with you. I will agree with I want Goody got, but before I go, we're gonna make a bet right now, Tanner. we gotta make a bet. Because you've been trashing my team all offseason.
Yeah.
We did. We made a bet in the AFC Championship game, so don't lie to me and tell me you don't make bets.
It's not time to make bets yet. It's not betting time yet.
We can make a friendly wager. If the Packers beat,
tell the producer what to do, man.
If the Packers win more than 3 games this year, from the time after they win 3 games, you have to wear a Green Bay Packers hat or shirt every.
I'll do something closer to week 1, but right now I'm not making any bets.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna get in on that one.
Exactly.
You guys are winning way more than 3 games.
While Tanner makes some key points, you just said, why did we draft 2 tight ends? Well, because we're going to run the fucking football. Right. You put how do you run the football? Put a bunch of people on the offensive line. That's how you run the football. We're going to tailor this offense to Jordan Love's strength. It's not Aaron Rodgers air it out all the time. We're saving grace for Aaron just to chuck it down the field. That day is gone. Aaron's not going to be changing the plays at line and things like that. We are going to find a lot about our coach Matt LaFleur. We're going to find a lot about our defense. Our defense has got to come to play. But I do think with Jordan Love sitting for 3 years, he's going to be improved. Guys are saying, I love that the fact that these guys, the players in the locker room, are backing this kid. And I said, that's what I need to hear. I need to hear that our players are backing this kid. So Sam, sing it with me. Sometimes you got to have a little faith. faith.
Gotta have
Faith.
faith.
Maybe I'm
Faith.
listening
Get back
to
on
George
your
Michaels a little bit too much. Maybe I'm listening to my brother Matt Larison telling me, filling my head that we're going to be actually halfway fucking decent.
Wait, isn't
I
that
got
Ryan?
this team winning 9 games,
wrong
and we're
brother.
finishing second place.
Get the heck out. Yeah, fuck
Take that,
it.
Cheddar,
Said the wrong
take that in your
brother.
pipe and smoke
Yeah,
it.
RJ.
Well, you
Burn it down.
Bang that hammer, bro. Bang that
Did you
hammer.
say second place?
Hit it again.
Second place.
Burn it down.
I'm right there with you, bro. 9-8. Second
Yeah,
place
me
in the
too.
division.
Dan, welcome to the LTS show, brother.
I love it.
Oh, hey, we have a
This
guest.
is
Guys,
great.
did you
I
know
feel
that?
at home. This is fun.
Let's get
Dan,
into the
any
team
thoughts
that
on the
finished-
Packers, Dan?
What
He
up?
already gave us thoughts. Yeah. Oh, hey,
Sorry,
Scott,
man.
before we get on the next team, give us your fantasy and betting bet real quick.
So my fantasy and betting will wrap the same player. Romeo Dubs has spoken glowingly about Jordan Love, and usually it's Dan's gone. And usually it's the first.
I'm going to miss
It's not
that
the
guy.
top. When a new quarterback comes into a situation, it's not the top receiver he targets early. It's the secondary guy that he's comfortable with and has practiced with. So I think Romeo Dubs could have a better year than people think. The betting angle is this: Romeo Dubs over under 525.5 yards. The over is minus 125. The under is plus 110. I'm going over. I think he gets 600 yards this year, at least.
Ooh.
Oh, he'll hit 6. easily.
Let's get into our second team, or the team that finished second. And many people are touting to take the next step and take this division. It's Detroit, 9-8. They finished season 9-8. Gone are DJ Chark, Jamal Williams, Deshaun Elliott, Mike Hughes. In comes Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Cameron Sutton for that secondary.
Yep.
Bring in David Montgomery, Marvin Jones Jr., his second stint there back at Detroit. They drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. They jump up and trade for Jahmyr Gibbs. They get Jack Campbell, Iowa dog, Sam Laporta to replace Hawkinson, another Iowa dog. Then they draft their quarterback of the future in the 3rd round in Hendon Hooker. Dan, I know you kind of like you already said you got your Vikings, but is this finally the Lions' year?
I give them 9, bro. Like I think everyone is so highly overrating this team, and we haven't seen anything. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Dan Campbell, whenever the pressure's on, he loses. And then when it doesn't matter, he gets a little run going. I've never seen this guy for one season put it all together. Like, yeah, I'm not betting on it. And I love Jared Goff. Jared Goff is just Kirk Cousins, but younger. Look at their numbers. Look what they do. Like I honestly, with that team, it looks good. It looks good on paper. I don't trust them. Something about the Lions, and maybe it's just they've been horrible for years. Maybe it's just that. But nothing. I wouldn't bet a dime on the team because I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I feel like it's one of those, if I put a bunch of money on it, I'm going to lose it. But then because I don't put any money on it, they're going to win the division or something. It's one of those, man. We just don't know what in the heck is going on with this team. And I respect the Lions somewhat, but for years, we've always had their number, and I'm not like that scared of them yet. They haven't proven anything. And I think the teams that are overhyped in the offseason, that are unproven and are a little bit loud, I don't think that those are the teams that show up at the end of the year. You know, like, I don't know. They might be a dark horse contender, but at the same time, I see my Vikings being able to take them out.
Tanner, we'll start with you this time. What's what's your feeling about the Lions here? I know you said you got the Bears, so you're already on the crack pipe. But
yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have a second place, Lions? Dan?
Who? Oh,
Dan.
Oh,
Second
yeah,
place?
I would put the Lions in second. Yeah, I would put them one win above the Packers. I got the Lions at 8, the Lions at 9, the Bears at 8, and I think I gave I gave 6 to the dude. I'm all messed up. 6 to
Six
the
to the
Bears.
I got
8
your
to the
place.
Packers.
That happens
and
on
9
this
to
show.
the
Don't worry
Lions.
about it.
There we
Yeah.
go.
There we go. Look, this Lions team.
Words are hard. I get it.
I love
Yeah,
the
they
coach.
are, dude.
They are.
Super-
I love Campbell, right? I love this coach. I think they're doing the necessary moves, the right moves, but they're also in Detroit and they always have issues. They always got guys here. They got suspensions happening, right? It's a mess. It's still a mess of an organization. You're going to lose guys throughout it, the area. Who knows what David Montgomery really has left after leaving the Bears? Like he kind of struggled last year a little bit. Jamari Gibbs, I love him, but there might be too much hype in this one. You look at the defensive side. I love the Jack Campbell pick. That was solid. That's right where
Dog, right there in Iowa. Kurt's
Love it.
dogs.
But outside of that, they didn't really improve that defense any. It's gonna hurt them for this offensive league, the offensive schedule they got here. Obviously, they also got Riley Patterson for kicker. That was a great move. I love that move because I think that was something they need to solidify right there. By the way, dumb move by Jacksonville. But anyways, we won't get into that yet. But I love the line. The receivers are so-so. I love the Denzel Mims pickup. I really think this guy can still be something. He just needed to change the scenery, get out of the organization of the Jets. Marvin Jones, I don't think he has anything left in the tank. Josh Reynolds isn't going to carry your team, as well as now you got to wait for the guys to get back. So, give me the Lions, third place for this division here. I think they have a decent start. But I think stuff just starts to crumble around them as they get into week 10, week 11 throughout the rest of the year. So high hopes, but they don't cut it. Give me the Lions in third place.
Sam, what's your take on the Lions here? A team who's been historically bad for decades.
My take on the Lions is kind of like this, right? Did you guys ever notice that every time Dan Campbell talks about winning, it sounds like some sort of script for a snuff film? Like it's like every time he's like, "We're gonna watch the light go out of their eyes as my hand slowly strangles them. That's what we're gonna do to this team." And you're like, "Jeez, dude, God!" You can tell the guys in the locker room too are just like blank stare, like, "What?"
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but every time he describes winning, it's always like some sort of very unsettling thing.
You got to murder somebody to win in Detroit.
Yeah.
That's not winning stuff.
That's right. That's how you do it. Take a stroll down
I don't
8
hate
Mile.
that at all.
But anyway, I have them. I am one more than Dan. I have them at 10 wins and second in the division. But I think it is a ugly 10 wins. I don't think it comes easy. I think they have to fight for every bit of ground they have. But I think they get to 10 wins. But that they're second in my division because I'm with Dan. I think the Vikings are still the class. So
Well, we haven't got there yet, so you could have waited for that, but all right.
right,
Go ahead.
but we've got every other team. Use your power of deduction, Nick. For the love of God, come on now. Jeez. Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's quite all right. And by the way, Flo, you said Detroit finally has a decent quarterback. They have the same quarterback this year as they did last year. So
Get the hammer.
Yeah. So they have the same quarterback as they did last year. So when you say
I'm going to say this about Flo. To his credit,
played
Goff
well
played a lot better the second
play
half
well
of the
last
season.
he did. I agree with that.
He did.
I agree with that.
I mean, week 1 was a blast. Double digits with the Eagles going at it. Just lost, just the unfortunate of losing. But, I mean, he put up numbers in that week 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my problem with the Lions at the beginning of the season is you got Amon-Ra St. Brown at wide receiver. Who else do you have? You really don't
Jamison
have.
Williams is coming up.
He's
Now he's
suspended.
a year past.
Suspended.
God, how long is he suspended?
6 games.
6
Yeah.
weeks.
Sorry.
6 games. So at the beginning of the season, it's basically Amon-Ra St. Brown. They'll probably use Jahmyr Gibbs as a slot receiver and Sam Laporta, their rookie tight end. So to me, that's going to be tough going into Kansas City and thinking you're going to have a lot of success. So that's where my problem starts with the Lions is that they did not address James Williams is out 6 weeks.
They got
What do we-
Mims. They just traded for Mims. There's your
Yeah.
dressing.
Yeah, it doesn't
We're not
sell
doing
me a lot.
It's-
So we're
Oh,
not
okay,
doing-
okay.
So I think that the Lions will finish second in the division. I think they'll be 10-6 and 10-7, and I agree with Sam. It's going to be a very ugly 10-7.
Woohoo!
I would.
Someone agrees with me. You hear that?
I would give Detroit the division if Williams was not suspended from day one. So that's my take on him. And the other thing with David Montgomery is Dan Campbell wanted him. They went out and signed him, paid him decent money for a running back in free agency. So they're going to use him. They're going to use him a lot at the beginning of the season because Dan Campbell wants himself to be proved right in management's eyes that this is the guy they wanted to go out and get and replace Jamal Williams. So I think you're going to see a lot of Montgomery in week 1 against Kansas City.
Hey, go ahead, Johnny. Who you got? Go ahead. Your preview of the Lions.
Yeah, I got the Lions at 11-6. I didn't realize the Williams the suspension, but you know what? They played well at the beginning of last year. He missed most of the beginning of last season with the injury anyway. That was one of the best offenses all season. So I like the Lions. It's hard to say and it's scary to say because they are the Lions. But when you look at the rest of the division, that's why I'm going to give it to the Lions. I love the draft that they have. I'm not a big fan of going up to get Gibbs, a running back in the first round, but he is a good player. You team him up with Montgomery. I like that tandem back there. Goff isn't a superstar, but he's a good player. That offensive line that's a stud offensive line. They are stacked up there.
Penny
Dan
Sewell.
Campbell he wants to run the ball. He wants to be smash mouth. I agree with them as far as ugly wins, but I still got them winning 11 games, and I got them winning this division.
Ooh!
So I
love the draft, bro. I love the two kids from Iowa, the Campbell. I love the tight end. I was hoping that he would slip to the Dolphins. I think they're gonna play well. And I think they take the division.
Jack Campbell is a Dan Campbell perfect fit for him. Smash mouth in your face. Dan knows this being an Iowa Hawkeye fan himself. He is a beast. I like the move, bringing Montgomery. Like they pretty much replaced 2 running backs to replace. I feel like got a little bit of an upgrade with Montgomery and Gibbs. I think Goff played really well the second half of the season. Their second back of their defense, secondary, their defense is going to be really good. I'm not really worried about the Williamson's trade. Scott, he missed over 3/4 of the season last year.
He did.
Came in the final weeks to get his feet wet, and that was an injury. So now he's going to be fully healthy, just suspended for gambling. So he'll be all right. He'll come back in week 6. I think the smart move was to bring in Denzel Mims to kind of replace that. I'm a huge Amon St. Brown's a stud. That was an absolute stud. Whenever they drafted him, God, that might have been the steal of the draft. I don't know what round he went in, but I know it wasn't the first round or maybe the second.
Fourth round.
Fourth round.
Was it a 4th round pick? Wow.
Yeah, the kid is an absolute killer. This is it, Lions. I mean, this might come back to bite my skinny ass later, as my wife would say, my Hank Hill ass. But I got 10 wins, and I got the Lions winning first place in this division. I never thought I'd say it, but Detroit Lions, I got the first. Dan, we'll start with your Vikings. All right, Scott, go ahead and do it.
Stunning and brave. That's what that was.
All right, guys.
My fantasy take is Sam Laporta from the tight end. I think he's him and Dalton Kincaid were the 2 best tight ends in this draft class, and I think Laporta is going to be used a lot. There's a lot of raving going on out of Lions camp about this kid, so I think they're going to use him a lot from week 1 on. But I think it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get his feet on the ground and for him to become a top 10 to 15 tight end. So I would Sam Laporta, I would draft him and just hold on to him until like week 3 or 4 and then use him. My betting angle is this: David Montgomery over under 7.5 touchdowns, over is plus 100, under is minus 125. Did anybody see what they did with Jamal Williams last year? They're going to do the same thing with Montgomery. They're going to use him 5-yard line. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going over the 7.5. He may have like 12 this year if he stays healthy. The other one with Montgomery is over under 750.5 rushing yards. I'm going over on that too. I think he's close to 1,000. I think they use him a lot based on what they gave him for a contract free agency. So I'm all in on David Montgomery this year to smash both of those.
Dan, we'll go to your final team. You got them in first place, but the Vikings were 13-4 last year, 11 one-score games. They won 11 one-score games, the most in NFL history. So, I mean, they had a horseshoe or two up their ass. They obviously lost Alvin Cook. Gone is Patrick Peterson. Gone is the veteran Eric Kendricks as well. Gone is Irv Smith Jr. They do bring in Eric Davenport and Byron Murphy. Their draft class. Oh, I didn't. Tanner, you got their draft class. I didn't post it.
Yeah, I'll get it. I got it right here. Nope.
They got the receiver. I know.
Addison, Jordan Addison. So you got Jordan Addison, a receiver. Going down the way here, Jaron Hall, a quarterback, as well in the 5th. Dwayne McBride, the running back. Then you got Jacqueline Roy in the 5th, Mecky Blackman in the 3rd, and Jay Ward in the 4th.
Hey, Dan, go ahead and tell us why your Vikings are winning this damn thing.
All right, so first of all, I have to talk about the whole crazy last year with the one possession games. The year before, we were like 1-7, 1-8, and it was about time that it comes back. I believe that we're still going to be really close in games, but we're going to pull away finally, because there wasn't one game as a Vikings fan last year where we pulled away and won, okay? Like, there wasn't any. This year, we have Brian Flores as our defensive coordinator.
Yep.
And I've said this, if you do some analytics and move them from the 30th defense to just the 17th defense, you put them in the top 20 at the bot, like, just put them at 18 or 19, and they're a 13-win team, I say you're getting more wins. I give them 14 wins. Dalvin Cook isn't going to affect this team as much as we really think, because we were paying him so much money and he was always injured anyways. Some years he'd play, some he would be out half of the season. And when was the last time you saw a guy making 14, 15 mil a year playing the Super Bowl, right? We have a beast in Alexander who we barely use. He's a stud, so like he's a fresh back, ready to get some work in. And if that's a problem, this is the one time where it's okay not to have a running back, because if you run into some issues, we can go pick a stud up real quick. There's like 3-4 of them sitting there. I think that Hawkinson coming back for a full year in training camp with the Vikings, he's going to be better, and that's going to be great. Justin Jefferson is a superstar in this league. I think he's going to be able – I don't know if he'll have like a 2,000-yard season or anything like that. I'm hoping that Jordan Addison can come in and get that production that Adam Thielen had last year. But tell you the truth, last year was the first year where Adam Thielen started to really show his age. He didn't get the separation like he used to. The guy for years was a great route runner, but last year you could tell he lost a step or two. He was still getting open, but it wasn't as much separation. If we can get a speedy guy like Addison in there, route running's got that step, we can open up the whole pass game even more. The run game, all it comes down to is our offensive line ready? They were decent last year. Can they take another step forward, and our run game is going to be okay? And at the end of the day, it comes down to the defense. I don't expect anyone in here to respect the Vikings defense because they didn't show anything last year. And I know that we got rid of so many notable guys, but all of our notable guys didn't really do anything last year. I mean, we were giving up so many yards. Like, it was about time to scrap a lot of the team and bring in some new blood and bring in an intensive defensive coach. Like Brian Flores, you can say what you want about the man, but he at least gets the players feeling like warriors out there. He's out there, getting in their face and getting them amped up, and maybe that's what we need with this damn defense.
Tanner, what you got here with the Vikings?
Look, obviously, second place for me, but they're not far off from first. All right, there's one game in here, and it's it is the Bears at 7:15 primetime game, November 27th. That's the game they lose because it's on prime time, and that's
Where's it at?
win the division. It's
gonna be at Chicago.
Where at though?
Chicago.
It's at Chicago. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the team. But let me give you a quick breakdown of this Vikings team, what I think of it here. Love the receivers, of course. KJ Osborne is going to be a monster this year. So I've had him every year he's been in the league, right? Since 20. So the last couple of years. Been awesome. Been awesome to have as a good depth guy you can plug in during buys. He's going to be really effective this year. I don't mind the line at all. I think they can get better still, but I don't mind the line. TJ Hawkinson, another monster. He's going to get so many targets here now that Irv Smith's out of the way. You know, and they traded for this guy for a reason. You know, you're going to let Josh Oliver and Johnny Munt essentially take care of the main blocking. I mean, Hawkinson will, get his dues in, but that's going to be a guy that's going to be a weapon, a very high end zone weapon for Kirk Cousins. Could care less about the running backs. I don't really know about Madison too much. Like, I don't know if I trust him to be in that solid role now that he's not a backup. But I love the Dwayne McBride, the rookie. I think you see him coming to kind of pass play, maybe not early in the season, but you see him start coming into this offense a little bit. Move to the defense. You said it, Dan. Not a lot of people respect this defense. But guess what? I think they got better. I think you replaced an old Patrick Peterson with a Brian Murphy Jr. from Arizona there, which helped a lot. I think Cameron Bynum and Caleb Evans get better as well. Harrison Smith's still a monster in the middle. We can just get rid of these pass interference calls because he wants to go out and knock somebody's head off. Mickey Blackman, your third-round pick. Love that guy as well. I think that's a really great one. Now you got Andrew Booth Jr. there. Lewis Seen is going to be returning as well from his injury there overseas he had. I love what I'm seeing there. Jordan Hicks, Daniel Hunter, Harrison Phillips. I don't mind anything with this defense at this moment. And they got Marcus Davenport. This team, at least the back half, maybe not necessarily the defensive line, the back half here, the linebacking core in the secondary, I think they're a little bit more stacked than a lot of people realize. So give me the Vikings, of course, in second place, 1 win shy from the first place Chicago Bears this season.
Wow. Sam, what's your thoughts here? You obviously got the Vikings first place. So tell us why.
A lot of the same reasons I already mentioned. I am not a Kirk, for full disclosure here, Dan. I am not a big Kirk Cousins fan. I'm fan.
In the middle too, bro.
You love white mediocre quarterbacks like Tanny and Kirk Cousins. So hey,
wait, we're not talking about my team today, okay, Nick? So we're talking about your team and everybody else's. So shush. Anyway, so Kirk is such an interest. He's an enigma to me sometimes, but he has those guys rally around him every single time, and then he does like a cringe video when he's wearing necklaces or some shit. And then, but Justin Jefferson makes him look good. Yeah, that's right, Tanner. Make a bet, Tanner, and then we'll talk. Anyway, so I've been holding that one back for so long. Anyway, he has all those guys to make him look good. I think they get 12 wins out of him, and I think they take the division. Yeah.
So now, who you got here for the Vikings?
So I did a little bit more digging on Minnesota because I wanted to find out a little bit more about them. And the two things, to go with Tanner's point, I agree with them. They're younger, they're athletic. That's the way you win in the NFL on defense, is a younger team and more athletic. Number two, I think Kevin O'Connell has it as a play caller. I think he is dialed in games. I think he knows the feel of the game, and he calls the right plays and gets them in the right situations.
Scott,
and to me, that
who's their defensive coordinator now?
It's Brian Flores.
And guess who likes to smack some mouths like he did down in Miami and Pittsburgh this year? Brian Flores.
Yeah.
I forgot about that point. I appreciate you bringing up the coaches.
Yep. So to me, their coaching staff is really, really good. And in the NFC North, that's going to make all the difference in the world. So I've got Minnesota going 12-5 this year and winning the NFC North.
Wow.
Johnny, what's your thoughts here on the Vikings?
I mean, I actually like the coaching staff. Being a Dolphin fan, I like Brian Flores. I think that was a really good pickup.
Love it.
The one problem is Brian Flores is a man-to-man, extremely aggressive with the front line type defense, and they don't have the players to do all that.
What are you talking about?
Tell him, Johnny.
You'll see. They
Brian
got two solid man-to-man cover corners because he loves to zero blitz. He loves to put pressure on the quarterback. They don't have the players to do that. He's still going to scheme them up well, and they're going to play well, and they're going to surprise the people. But let's calm down with the defense improving that much. I think they will improve, but I'm not a believer in Kirk Cousins either. Dalvin Cook, you're going to miss him more than you think. Yes, I understand with the injuries, but he played most of the season last year. He had a good season last year. He made the Pro Bowl last year, and I'm with Nick as far as the horseshoe up that ass last year. And you mentioned the year before they were 1-7. Last year they were 10-1. So I see it evening out, and they'll probably go, 3-4, 4-5, something like that as far as those one-score games. I actually had them at 8-9, tied with the Bears for third place. So I got them in third place. I got the Lions 11-6, the Packers 9-8, and the Bears and Vikings at 8-9.
Ed, I've missed you so much.
Ed, never change, Ed.
That is
Never change, Ed.
That is a trip, bro.
Let me tell you about the Vikings. So it's funny that Kirk Cousins dresses in Kmart clothes and looks like the ultimate dad that could throw the ball in the backyard because that's all he's ever going to do. He is Mr. Kmart himself. I will never buy Kirk Cousins to win a division. I'll never buy Kirk Cousins to win a primetime game. Danny, it's funny that you said that 1 year the ball didn't bounce their way. Last year it bounced their way. Well, guess what that means? This year, ball's not bouncing their way. Last year they had all the breaks. This year, not the breaks. They're going to finish third in this division. They're going to get 8 wins, 1 behind my Packers, 2 behind the Lions, because somehow they're going to be on prime time or 4:00 game. And Kirk Cousins, just like Kale said, is going to throw 15 interceptions in the fourth quarter in those games. You know what? We don't know what Jordan Love is. But by God, we know what mediocre Kirk Cousins is. So I got the Vikings finishing third in this damn division. That's what's happening here.
That was great.
Scott, give us our betting angles and our fantasy here for the Vikings.
Oh, Ed, we love you, Ed, very much.
Yeah,
we love you. So at quarter, I've gone through running back, wide receiver, tight end. I haven't gone through quarterback yet. It's Kirk Cousins. Okay. He is the guy in this situation that can flourish and thrive. Do not forget that this is the last year of his 3-year, 4-year guaranteed contract. So he's got to put up or shut up this year. And I think he's going to put up. I think this is going to be a different Kirk Cousins this year than you've seen in the past. I think he's going to make some really good decisions. I think O'Connell is going to put him in situations that are going to benefit Kirk Cousins to a great extent. The betting angles of this: Kirk Cousins 300 plus yards in at least 8 games this year is at plus 200. I'm taking that. He's gonna throw and throw and throw. The other one, I know Patrick Mahomes is in the league. I know Josh Allen. I know all these guys. He's 10-1 to lead the NFL in passing yards this year. I'm taking that as well. I think he's gonna just throw a ton. He's going to throw over 700 times this year.
He'll be up.
So I think
sure.
he's going to have like 4,700 passing yards this year, and that's going to be in contention to lead the NFL. So at 10-1, I'm going to sprinkle some money on that. Ed's awesome. Ed is awesome.
Hey, that covers our NFC North. Hammering it home right there. That covers the NFC North division. Dan, before we get you out of here, let everybody know where we can find your awesome ass. I mean, you know what I mean.
Well, we just kind of switched things up, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. So you can find me at the Fan Club on all social media platforms. Just Google me. You'll find me somewhere having some fun. We also have a YouTube channel breaking down the Milwaukee Bucks in 6. Go check that out too. Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. Hella laughs. If you ever need me again, give me a call. This was great.
You know, man.
Always, Dan. We appreciate you, brother.
Dan,
Give it up for the host of the
one,
Fan
man.
Club, the one and only Dan Bronson, everybody.
Love that ass, Dan. Love that ass.
Love it.
This is Minnesota's ass.
It is Minnesota's ass.
Hey, we'll see you next time, Dan.
Hey, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, boys, Sunday is for football, but by God, for me, fights nights are Saturday. And not only do we just have UFC this Saturday, UFC 291, we also have a huge-ass boxing fight going on. Spence versus Crawford, two of the top fighters in the world going face-to-face. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I have to, get two TV screens out because they're going to be simultaneously going on at the same time. I'm hoping maybe UFC 291 gets over right as Spence and Crawford is going on because I know my heart, I'm going to fully focus on UFC 291 because as a card, it's going to be better, right? Boxing cards outside of the main event's not great. But I mean, we got Spence Crawford this weekend too. We got UFC 291. So we got to bring in Mr. Combat himself, Rec Room Sports. And Tanner, what's y'all's new show that you guys are putting out? Just Let Me Talk to You or Speak at You or something?
Let me talk to you.
Hear me out. None other than our guy Whit, baby.
I appreciate the effort.
Hey, I like that. I like that second name. Let me say something. That's what we should have called it. Okay.
It's not too late.
Can I finish?
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, that one too. I like that.
There you go, Sam. That's a good one.
Hey, you're welcome. All right, that'll be $5.
I mean, why did they schedule Spence Crawford on the same night as UFC 291? We could have got it last Saturday. We could have got it on a Sunday, but here we are. Let's break down this UFC 291 card. I'm going to go bottom to top from the 5 spot all the way to the main. So opening up the main card, we got the welterweights, Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. Chiesa's the dog at plus 125. Holland the favorite at minus 145. Chiesa is ranked number 12. We haven't seen Chiesa fight in 2 years. We just saw Holland a few months ago beat Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Right.
Who you like and what do you think about this fight?
Oh, well, somebody said, hey, and two, the idea is with Chiesa, like before he had that little lull, Chiesa was primed to be somewhere in the mix for a top 5 in the division. Definitely somebody you want to keep your eye on because his fights were special. The last time he was supposed to fight versus, I think it's Li Jian Liang.
Yeah, Leach. He pulled out.
Right. And so, I speaking with somebody that's a good friend of mine who we're going to bring on, hear me out one of these days, does jiu-jitsu, does all these matches and stuff. He's like, seriously, there's nothing worse than being primed for a fight or getting injured or something happened to you. So last time I checked, Kevin Holland had switched camps. I think he was joining the American Top Team so he could finally get some wrestling because that was his downfall many, many months into his career when he got put on his back and dragged across the cage. I think that this is one of those fights where Kevin Holland actually puts his name into that top 10, top 15 tier, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Has anybody seen his commercial? I love his commercial.
Oh, with Wonder Boy, with him and Wonder Boy.
With Wonder Boy. I love that commercial where they're like,
yeah,
awesome, Steven. I'll be by with ice. Yeah. I think that's a cool thing because, prior to him getting really some notoriety, when they started really miking up those UFC fight nights when it was COVID, they would always when nobody was in there at all, you would always hear him talking. And he would tell you he was talking to DC, he's talking to Daniel Cormier. Daniel, what should I do? How do I get him down? How do I get him off me? But that's his personality. I think had he not taken those 2 losses back to back, he would be way higher up in the rankings. So don't get me wrong. I like Chiesa as a person. I liked him 3 years ago, but right now I think I'm going to go with Kevin Holland on this one for sure.
Yeah, you said his 2 losses, and he didn't lose to chumps here. He lost to Vincent Luque, who was a stud, and I think he lost to I believe Bilal Muhammad or somebody like that. Sean Brady. Sean Brady.
That wasn't in order when I was saying 2 losses, but
it was 2 losses. No, his last 2 fights are 2 losses in a row. He lost to Sean Brady and he lost to Vincent Luque and Sean Brady.
About Bilal Muhammad. I don't know why.
Those are his last 2 fights, and we haven't seen him in 2 years. There is a thing called ring rust. He said he needed back surgery. DC actually advised him to not have the surgery because he said you'll never be able to train the right way because it was the same surgery that DC had. And he never felt right. You're right. Kevin Holland talks a lot of shit, and he's a lot of fun fighter. He's a stand-up guy. I'm with you on here. I got Kevin Holland winning this fight. Boys, you got any questions on this fight alone before we move on to the next one?
So I'll go betting angles at the end of each fight. It's over under 2.5 rounds. What do you guys think?
I got the over.
Yeah, I got the over on this one. Like Kevin Holland, although the hand speed for him was one of his main things, and Chiesa's already had just a few issues. Excuse me, sweetheart. Excuse me. Chiesa's had a few issues with getting guys off of him. But I think with that new training regimen that he's been going through, we're going to see less of Kevin Holland standing there trying to go blow for blow, toe to toe, like we did several years ago, and more of him using what they probably been training him to do, like they do with everybody in that gym, is let me put my hands on you. Let's move you around a little bit. Yes, and she also agrees that we're going with Kevin Holland on that one as well.
Is that 5.5-inch reach difference that Holland has?
Yeah, Holland's
Really
long
make
and
that big
lanky.
difference?
Yeah.
And
long
listen,
and lanky.
it's nothing like having another man with long arms hold your arms against your body, up against the cage, full weight pressing up on you. And I think that a lot of times, the last couple fights we saw, Chiesa wants to stand up. He wants to stand and bang.
Actually, Scott, what'd you say the over or under was? 2.5?
2.5 rounds.
I picked Holland to win, so I got to take the under. Holland always, if he wins, it's by knockout. So I'm going to take the under because I picked Holland to win. So I'm going to say he doesn't hit the 2.5. I think somewhere early in the third, late in the second, he puts Chiesa down.
I like that. I'm more so going for somewhere in the unanimous decision range because I'm seeing Kevin scoring, like pointing more so on Chiesa. Like you said, that ring rust is a real thing, especially in UFC. Kevin Holland's reach, just like Tanner mentioned, is going to play some type of point of adversity for Chiesa, whether they're grappling, whether they're up against the cage, and especially if he gets them, anywhere near dazed or gassed, because that's a possibility too. I'm looking at Holland. I'm taking the over. We're going all rounds, and we're winning on points.
All right. Let's get into the next fight here. Two OGs in this game. And 3 years ago, if you would have told me Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green, I would have said Tony Ferguson is the absolute favorite, right? But here we are 3 years in advance. Tony Ferguson is the absolute biggest dog on the main card at plus 285 against Bobby Green at minus 375. Neither one of these guys. Tony Ferguson is on a 5-fight losing skid. Then you talk about Bobby Green. He's lost 3 out of his last 6. One was a no contest.
Yeah, no contest.
What are your thoughts on these two OGs finally facing each other on Saturday night?
I'm really feeling like Dana White's going, look here, man. Both of y'all got to get out of here.
Right? 39 and 36.
But in all seriousness, when you think of the legend that was El Kukui at one point in time, when it comes to Tony Ferguson, you could put him up against anybody, and it was going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. Tony's not going down. His training regimen, I don't know if y'all ever seen it, but there have been lots of parody in UFC where the guys have clowned how Tony Ferguson trains and how crazy he is on the bench with the L. He gets off he does 4 bench presses, gets up and elbows the weights, and it's crazy. But like you mentioned, when you take it back to his prime and Bobby's prime, of course, this could have been. Yeah, I know it could have been.
Let me clear my throat.
It could have been a main card fight, like prime time, most definitely 3 years ago. But with this being said, if this is going to be like a swan song fight, we're going to put the two old dogs in the cage. I just got to go with my gut, man, and go with Tony Ferguson. And that's just that. Yes, 5 losses is a lot. Don't get me wrong. Okay, 2 losses is a lot in the UFC. But Dana White has kept him around because he's a main card draw. And in the sense of saying you want eyes on the TV screen, the eyes are going to go up against the TV screen just for this. Oh yeah, don't forget, it's in Salt Lake City. Thank you. It's in Utah. We're talking about a little more adversity. I'm looking for somebody whose gas tank has been proven. You don't think it's been proven? Tony Ferguson's gas tank has been proven. Say yes. Anyway, Tony Ferguson's gas tank has been proven time and time again. He's hard to get down. I don't care if you got him dazed. You damn near got to shoot him in the ring for him to be over. I like Ferguson on this one.
You're fighting at that high altitude we're gonna see a lot of people gas out. We saw this a year ago where guys who said like I couldn't go, like my engine couldn't go. So we saw that last year when they fought in Utah. Tony Ferguson on a 5-fight losing skid, but he hasn't lost to chumps, folks. Like he's lost to two guys. He lost to Justin Gaethje. He's lost to the cream of the crop. He's lost to DeRouche. He's lost to Michael Chandler.
Yeah, Dariush, right?
Yeah, he lost to Nate Diaz. Like he hasn't just lost to nobodies. He lost to the cream de la creme in the lightweight division. Tony's always weird in interviews and things like that. He just, I didn't take the last fight serious, or he's just trying to make excuses. He's had some off the court, but out of the octagon problems, drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You know what? I got King Bobby Green here to put Tony Ferguson out. This is one of them fights you got to watch like this.
Because Tony's got that scar tissue that has opened like the last two fights for sure. It's blood. It's gonna be blood everywhere. And in my mind, this is going to be one of those. All right, man, we got to put you out the pasture, man. This is
exactly. You got to watch this fight like this because it's like watching Ali when he was 50 fight somebody.
Really?
That's the way it is. Scott, you got any questions there?
If Witt is right, Ferguson is plus 310 in this fight. So if Witt is right, you're going to get a huge payday back on a Ferguson win.
Yes,
and it's 2.5 is the over under on rounds. So.
I think it goes the distance. It goes the distance.
So. I would think so too, based on what you guys said. So,
is this they're standing in the middle of the ring, toe to toe type fight?
Yeah,
in my opinion, this is one of the ones where it could go all across the ring, but the stand up part of the fight is going to be what pays a crucial bit of points. Once again, I think that Ferguson's hands have been tested and certified. But at the same time, when he's being caught, that is the issue. And of course, we've seen Bobby Green put hands on folks.
You don't put Tony down. That's the thing. Tony will stand there and just look like a meat, hamburger. His face will look like hamburger, and just still going, just still moving. If you look back at the Justin Gaethje fight, Justin was just piecing him up, and Tony's just bleeding all over. Finally, the ref's just like, I got to stop it. Like I got to stop this because, and they were still standing because Tony's just beat up bad, and I feel like that's what could happen on Saturday night.
Do you think this is Ferguson's last fight?
I don't know. No, Scott. The UFC loves him because he's such a fan favorite still. So I don't know if it's his last. And he's just one of those guys that just never knows when to stop. He's he's a fighter. The fighters. Right. He's one of those guys that fighters you have to tell him, Tony, it's time. And I don't know if they'll do that because he's still a fan favorite.
In my opinion, this is a fight which, if this is just me, if it's not his swan song, this could be the one where it's his last in the UFC. I can see Tony Ferguson going to PFL and getting it on, for another.
Yeah, you're right. He'll find another promotion and just keep fighting because he's still got a name and he's just a fighter. Let's get into the next one. It's two welterweights. You got number 7, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's the favorite at -185 versus number 15, Michelle Pereira at +180. The last time we saw Wonderboy was a hell of a fight of the year candidate against the aforementioned Holland. Before that, he was on a 2-fight skid, though. Pereira here is on a 5-fight winning streak. He's trying to get into that top 10 area, and what does he see? None other than Mr. Gatekeeper himself, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah, man. For me, this is one of those good ones where it could literally go either way. But when you think about Wonderboy, you think about his background, several years of karate, all of that good stuff is what he normally brings to the table, and it's an unorthodox fighting style. It's not really your everyday, stand and bang. The leg kicks are one of his favorite things to knock opponents off balance. I'm looking for that to be how he kind of takes this fight. But when I think about when I take my heart out of it, I want to go Pereira. That's what I want to go. When I take the feelings away from it, I really want to go. All right, Pereira's got it. We saw those last two fights. He basically said, "Hey, look, I'm going to take this guy out. I don't care what you think of him in the UFC. This is who I am, and I'm a dog when he gets in that ring." And personally, man, like I said, if I gotta go, with the betting line, hey, look, you gotta go think smart on this one, and I'm definitely gonna go Mike Pereira on this one for sure.
Yeah, it's Wonder Boy's very precise with everything he does. Michel Pierre is crazy. He'll do a guy will be laying down. He'll do a backflip on him.
Yeah,
I've literally seen him in the octagon do a backflip on somebody. He does. He's got it more measured now. But when he first came in, he was doing all types of wild and crazy.
Yeah, he was
in his fights. You're just like, this guy.
He was real Anthony Showtime.
This guy is entertaining, but. Yes, he was entertaining, but you're just like, he's going to get caught, but now he's kind of reined it in. He's not as crazy. And by God, this guy's my dog on the card.
Oh,
that's my dog on the card here.
Keep it on the rest of the show.
I got Michel Pierre entering the top 10 at welterweight, not other than, once undefeated is Father Time, and Wonder Boy's 40 now, and Father Time comes for everybody, even ask our own Hall of Famer Scott Cobe. So I got Michel Pierre winning this one.
Hey, Scott, you got to tell him, man. You still running down a dream, brother. You got it, okay?
That's true. Hey, Nick, I'm running down the dream, as Whit said. So leave it alone.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Do you old man breathe? When
I was about to say
Scott.
Scott's real popular in the home, boy.
Yeah, Pereira's plus.
Catch me on the shuffleboard court.
He's
How
the
about
underdog
that?
in this.
Hey, I watched the last show. I heard about your winning bocce ball, man. Congratulations.
That was more Keith than it was me. So
What'd you say, Scott?
Pereira is plus 125 in this, so he's a slight underdog in this.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got him.
Both got him winning.
Yeah, that's why I said he's my dog on the card, because he's the dog.
Yeah.
The dog, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I got
Two and a half over under as well, Scott.
Yeah, it's 2.5 over under. Under is plus 180. The over's minus 220 in this.
You guys think?
2.5 rounds. I probably put it the over. I think it probably goes the distance.
Yeah.
I just think it's Wonder Boy's so tough to put out.
Hey, baby, Michelle.
And his chin has been tested. So I'm going to go with the over on the rounds there.
Yeah, so Johnny, you're better off if you're going to bet it to take Pereira and not touch the over under in this.
Okay.
So.
So let's get into the co-main event. You have a former light heavyweight champion in Jan Blachowicz versus Jan Blachowicz.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what I'm
saying.
Okay.
You questioned. It sounded like you were questioning me. Versus the former middleweight champion, who's now moving up. This guy used to cut to 185, and by God, when I saw the weigh-in today in the face-off, I never thought anybody could make Jan Blachowicz look little. But Jesus, Alex Pereira is a freaking monster. The former middleweight champ, who just lost to Izzy his last fight, but now is moving up to face on Jan Blachowicz, the former light heavyweight champion. This fight's even. It's Jan Blachowicz minus 120 versus Alex Pereira at 110. I mean, Alex Pereira to me is an absolute monster.
Excuse me. Sorry, you guys.
Oh, you good?
Baby's crying because they want to grab stuff. Okay, so let's talk about it. You get to be on camera too. Okay, so look, in reality, right? Okay, everybody sees my shirts, the Fun Daddy shirts. Okay, you gotta have fun with the kids. So let's include them on the camera from time to time. All right, so like you mentioned, Alex Pereira coming through. You got to talk about it. I know you don't like Jan Blachowicz for this one. I don't like Jan Blachowicz for this one either. I like going right now Pereira, because what's going to happen is I think that him being at a natural weight for him, because like you mentioned, he was cutting to fight Izzy, and he was getting down, and of course losing a little bit of his strength in each of these fights. But of course it's Izzy. It's Adesanya. You got to consider the fact that he's just a little bit more skilled now. So, yeah, he lost that last one. but he won the one before that. In my mind, Jan is the better wrestler, though. And a lot of times in UFC, and I know my face is probably getting a little cut off. A lot of times in the UFC, it's really about who has the ground game mastered, and that's jiu-jitsu, that's that Greco-Roman wrestling, and Blachowicz is right there at like cream of the crop as far as wrestling is considered. But there's a but in this one. Pereira's hands and his stand-up game are somewhat what he's been using for the longest. I don't even see this, and Scott, you got to tell me what the over-under is on the rounds. I don't think this goes to the end. I feel like Jan gets caught, and this is the secret awakening of Pereira in a weight class that he's gonna show up for the foreseeable future in these matches, weighing something normal, not having to do much of a weight cut, full strength. And it's going to be a bit not of a hostile takeover, but a bit of a showing that sooner or later it's going to be a hostile takeover in the division.
Yeah, so it's crazy because Jan Blachowicz faced really his mentor in Glover Teixeira just a couple years ago, and lost the title to Glover. And Glover's a takedown guy. Alex has been working on that wrestling, but man, I just told you this guy is a boogeyman. I mean, absolutely just, you look at him, he fears, Ed's talking about Freddy Krueger. Look up Alex Pereira, and he is Freddy Krueger. This guy is scary. He's tall. He's strong.
He shows up with the Brazilian death whistle.
I'm about to say he the Brazilian dude, right?
Yeah. He'll shoot out the bow and arrow. I got Alex winning this one. It's a knockout. Scott, what's the over under on that one you said?
So both fighters are at minus 110, so there's no give and take there. The over under in this over 1.5 is minus 150.
Yeah, I
under
believe
1.5 is plus 120. So
the over is what, Scott? 1.5?
Minus 150. The over 1.5 is minus 150. So everybody, they think it's going to go to 2 rounds. That's what DraftKings thinks it's going to 2 rounds. That's what they said.
I think it could, but man, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't really know. I think it could go to 2 rounds, but somebody's going to sleep. And definitely. I mean, Jan Blachowicz is tough to put out. That chin's been tested. He's been tough, but I think this is Alex's time, man. He's just an absolute monster of a dude. I'm going to go, like I said, I don't know on the rounds. I know somebody's going to sleep on Saturday night, and I think it's going to be Jan Blachowicz, but we'll see.
Nick, do you think Blachowicz comes out with haymakers and just takes it right to him from the opening gun in this fight?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the last Alex Pereira fight.
I've seen Blachowicz fight in the past.
Hold on, Jim.
It's a possibility that he does try to go ahead and win quicker than usual, because I think, what I'm saying, just looking at the competition, like everybody has seen how Pereira fights. And what you don't want to do is have him in there too long where you miss and he catches you. So that also leaves the possibility of doing something that Blachowicz is not used to doing, which is standing and banging. And his chin has been tested, but I don't know. Pereira just seems like a different type of fighter, man.
What were you saying, Johnny?
You were mentioning it in the last Alex Pereira fight when he fought Izzy, like you were saying that he's having to cut that weight, so that's like going against him. So I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, that if this is a comfortable weight for him, he's going to have all his power. He's going to be so much more comfortable.
Yeah, now you're so instead of fighting at him weighing 215,
right?
Going into Saturday night, so he's got to cut down to 206 today, for tomorrow's weigh-ins, and then you think he's probably going to weigh somewhere around
215, 220.
No, 230, 240, man.
30.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna have all kinds of power behind them blows, bro.
He's gonna eat a cheeseburger. No, not even cheeseburger. He's gonna eat Brazilian food. He's gonna have some carne asada, some steak or something, water, and he's just gonna balloon up overnight. Literally, it's kind of like.
Now, can that hurt him if he balloons up too much?
Nah. That's what your body's used to. That's what he's normally walking around at.
Right. Yeah. It's like putting a sponge in water. And he's just going to be, it's going to be what he's used to doing. And I think seriously, this division is going to have to look out, because I'm pretty sure, and I've seen it, even at a division lower than this right now, he looked like a larger person, period.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so I can only imagine how he looks on the normal every day, walking around on the street weight. You know.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, earlier you said, hey, is this fight going to be two dudes banging and banging? Well, that's the main event, baby. This is two dudes. Hey, this is Hagler Hearns type shit going on on Sunday night for the BMF title. The baddest motherfucker, Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje 2. We don't even need this little fake title because sign me up. These two dudes are like fighting in a phone booth, Johnny. You wanted two guys that are going to stand and swing on each other. You can go back and YouTube their first fight. It was happening way back in 2018. Dustin put Justin out in the 4th round. Sign me up for whatever knockout, whoever you want to pick on the knockout. This fight, nowhere go. Dustin Poirier said this fight doesn't go 25 rounds or else me and Justin are both in the hospital. That's what he said. I mean, this fight is an incredible fight. Dustin Poirier is the slight favorite over Justin Gaethje. Since their last fight in 2018, they've had similar stats since then. Both of them are 6-2, 4 finishes, both wins over Mike and Chandler. There are only 2 losses, one to Khabib and the other one to Charles Oliveira. So they both lost to the same guy. Both were lightweight interim champions. But man, to Sunday night or Saturday night, sign me up for two dudes who are absolutely going to want to go in there and absolutely kill each other. And, I mean, this is like when you get the baddest dude from one town and the baddest dude from the other town, and you guys drive to one town and just have everybody circles in a circle, and they just start, you're like, hey, we got our baddest dude on the block, you bring your baddest dude on the block, and we're going to find out who's the biggest guy in town. That's Saturday night. Dana White, again, hire me up for some promos, baby.
Hey man, listen, you got it right on this one. I'm trying to think of the name of that movie. You know where the guy's coming.
West Side Story.
West Side Story. We gotta have a knife fight. We gotta have a knife. West Side Story. There we go. You know,
yeah.
This is West Side Story in
real gangster stance.
Yeah, right. They pull out knives and tie each other's wrists together. This is what it really is going to look like in 2023. It's two guys, just like you said. You want to see two guys bang it out in the ring in Utah? This is what we got exactly. When I think about Justin Gaethje, man, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's got the most consecutive post-fight bonus wins.
Yes, he's most fight nights and most bonuses for fight nights and most bonuses for fight of the night. Yeah,
exactly. So like, but then you go with Poirier. Poirier's had a bit of a more storied last few years because, of course, like you said, he was interim champion. He was up there in the top.
Beat Conor twice.
Yeah, and when you think about somebody who could, or at least could go back up to being the champ, it's Poirier. You know what I mean? And he's got that New Orleans pedigree where, you know, the fighters from his camp, also talking about him and DC getting together, they are all tough, all of them. I don't care which one you mention, but when it comes to this, I really can't picture a better fight. Like, you know, we could have had this fight last week for all I care. I would have been the same evidence of a good fight, and you know what I'm saying, somebody thinking of, hey, look, you know what, this guy's not ready. Nobody wants to fight anybody from not about to say Tajikistan and all. Nobody wants to fight any of those guys. So let's go ahead and get the BMF title back. And for me, you know, although this isn't like, you know, a title fight technically, I think the BMF title in UFC is like an actual thing, and they need to make sure that it's something that is relevant. And this fight kind of being one of the ones that you know, when just like Bodkins mentioned, if you go YouTube it, and literally these guys were out there going at it. Gaethje with the uppercuts on and literally by the skin of his teeth, you know, having to, you know, get the ref to stop it. Like it could have went either way, but of course the fighter safety is what we have to consider. Dustin Poirier, I love his philanthropy outside of the ring too as a person, and so for me, I'm looking at this one, and I'm just gonna be real. This could be a draw, and I will take it. Okay, I will go with it. Last one, Poirier caught Gaethje really, really good, and Gaethje was, you know, so rocked in days that look, they had to stop it. He wasn't gonna go down on his own. But for me, if I gotta go with somebody right now, I'm gonna go with Poirier just for the pedigree of his last few fights. and definitely if I'm like I definitely could see this going all rounds and somehow going to the judges scoring cards, man.
I don't think, no way. I don't think it goes 25 minutes. There's no possible way somebody's will's going to give in, or we're going to see a ref stoppage. I think that they both have improved since 2018. That was 5 years ago. But Dustin, to me, has gotten so much better. He's a lefty, too. He's a southpaw, and that causes problems, especially with the jab. He's just going to be able to jab Gaethje, and Gaethje's, so good, man. Both these guys, I'm so excited. Like I said, put these two dudes, it's like fighting in a phone booth. That's how good they're going to be. Two guys that they're not going to run from each other. They're going to stand right there in the middle of the ring and let it go. What I do with the hammer? I got Dustin Poirier going 2-0. Dustin's never lost a rematch fight. He's 3-0 in his rematches. So give me Dustin Poirier to make it 4-0 in all of his rematch fights. And winner probably gets a title shot after winner Machakev and Charles Oliveira, which is in October. So this is the winner also gets a title shot, and they're known as the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Woo! Definitely, man. It's a double-edged sword. The winner, I'm pretty sure, Makachev and Oliveira is one of the ones that we're going to be looking forward to. But whoever finishes it in this fight in itself, this is going to be what we're looking for. I'm talking about months ago it could have happened, years ago it could have happened because it's been so long. But I love the way that of course, Dana White thinks. There's kind of a bit of a lull. As far as the top ranks are considered and fight making is concerned. So now I'm happy we get to have this. I'm excited to see it. Can't wait for Saturday. And are we going to talk a little bit about boxing?
Go ahead. You can talk Spence Crawford real quick before he gets you out of here, Whit.
All right, yeah, cool. Let's throw this out there, man. In reality, boxing is flawed. The system is flawed. Not just how everybody fights or what happens, but the system is flawed. These are two fighters. Oh, look at that. My sources are checking in. All right. So what happened is these are two fighters that have been literally at the top of their division for 5 years. Bud Crawford, never been knocked down, never been taken out, has won every time, and I'm talking about in spectacular fashion. Errol Spence, my man. You know what? When we talk about certain fighters, there is no other way that we cannot include Errol Spence. And for some odd reason, I'm not going to say that they're ducking each other, but this fight has not been arranged up until now. Now, if you know anything about fight history, Errol Spence has had 2 consecutive car crashes when this fight was supposed to happen. One was his fault. Somebody else hit him the second time. Anybody knows anything about, bones breaking and possibly, trying to get through recovery with that, when those bones finally fuse, it's a little bit different. So they tried to not have Errol Spence fight Bud Crawford, I think, to maintain the image of the promotion. And he won 3 other fights, if I'm not mistaken. We're talking about, all right, we're talking about Danny Garcia. That was a great one. I watched that one. Sean Porter in 19, and then Yordenis Ugas was last year in April. That's kind of a long time for a fighter of their stature to not have maybe a second title defense or unanimous title defense somewhere in between there. But Crawford being who he was, it's not like he didn't fight anybody. He fought Kell Brooks. That was a win. I watched Kavalaskis fight. I couldn't pronounce his name, but that was a pretty good one as well. And then, what is this? In 2019, the fight against Amir Khan was really supposed to be Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. Okay.
Who you like? Who you like, Whit?
I'm going with I'm going with Bud on this one. It's skewed either way, but the idea of the knockout comes from Errol Spence. The idea of the knockout comes from Errol Spence. The win points, which is what's going to happen, is Bud Crawford, but the knockout, Errol Spence.
I got Spence. I like Spence. So there it is. Hey, Whit.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to know here. Like, I remember, I don't know. I guess my early 20s, right? We had the fights that would kind of happen more regular, a little bigger in that play. The Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao, right? But that's like the last time. I think I remember seeing this Porter fight being promoted. But how come we don't see more boxing matches? Like, UFC is like every 2-3 weekends, right? Why don't we see more big boxing matchups? Is it just because UFC is taking over? And
Nah.
No. He mentioned it because sometimes they just don't want to. They don't want to fight each other.
Well, yeah.
Is it like a limited playing field? So I'm saying, like, it seems like you have.
No, it's actually the opposite, Tanner. It's too much. There's too many promotions, right? So the UFC can put on cards every Saturday, and then once a month they do the big pay-per-view, right? So it's one promotion. All those fighters fight for that promotion. So Dana White's the matchmakers, and they match up everybody. Now there's other MMA promotions that are not as big as UFC. Now in boxing, the problem is you get guys who are signed to different promotions. Right. And then the promotions won't come together and make the fights that we want as fans want to see. That's why we never saw it. Took so long to get Manny Pacquiao and Floyd because too many promotions. One promotion's on Showtime. One guy is on signed to DAZN, and then they can't figure out the network. Guess what? UFC signed to ESPN. We're putting fights on ESPN every fucking Saturday.
It's the business side of things that's holding up.
Yeah, it's
it's the business side of things, and in my opinion, it's oftentimes the promoters. And when we talk about promoters, we don't want to say too many names, but hey, I want to give respect to the great Bob Arum for doing this for so long. Somebody like him will put his fighters out there, and then another promotion, let's say Top Rank Boxing will go, hey, look, my guy is good, but look, hey, you're Bob Arum. We need more of a cut of the pay-per-view shares in order to put this fighter who's 22, he's 19-4, he's only fought 7-8 guys in the top 10. Like those things make fights, but the idea is the fighters different weight have to go with the promoter. Unless you're Floyd, who became his own promoter because he had so much money. Somebody who else did that. You got Golden Boy, but by the time Golden Boy became relevant, he was kind of going out on his own. You know what I mean? But right now, if the next big thing is going to be Canelo and Jermell Charlo, that's another one where the two promotions had to come together, but nobody wanted to fight Canelo.
And sometimes it takes the fighters. Look at Garcia and Tank Davis. Those two separate promotions, separate TV deals. Again, those two came together, said, "Hey, we fucking making this fight." They sat down with both their promoters at a table, and the TV exec said, "Hey, y'all need to figure this out. We're fighting each other. Y'all figure the rest out. Like we want to do this fight because it's going to put money in our pockets for both of us." So I think we're getting a little bit more of that now because both fighters, like, it's about money now. Like they're realizing, shit, man, if I got to go fight this guy, we'll figure this out. I want to fight this guy because I know I'm going to get a lot of money to fight him. So now we're seeing a little bit more of that, but it's all business. It's all business, and that's what hurt boxing. And there's not, they don't have a TV deal. They're doing the old pay-per-view style. It's not like ESPN where, you can go to ESPN Plus and just click buy for the tomorrow Saturday's UFC card.
Top Rank's got the ESPN deal right now, and they put on fights pretty much like once a month. So of course, when you think about Top Rank, you think about like Teofimo Lopez. At one point in time, Top Rank had Fury in it before he won the belt. Because of course
he's still signed to Top Rank.
He's still signed to Top Rank, but of course, he's not fighting right now. The next big thing in Top Rank as far as heavyweights is Big Baby knocking guys out at the age of 21, but he's huge for his age. I mean, and another thing that and I know y'all want to get me off of here. Another thing that you got to remember, boxing has an outrageous amount of weight classes. Okay, I'm talking about like light heavyweight, middleweight, light heavy middle, bantam, and
junior middleweight,
right?
Light heavy middle,
junior middle, fly middle, baby weight. It's so many weight classes that
diaper weight,
they're going from promotion to promotion, to ring to ring, and then they go, oh my God, I got to lose 15 pounds. I just lost 10. Oh my God, I got to put on 17. It's really tough, but. Okay. When the money's the right way, I'll eat some cheeseburgers and take a licking. That's the end of it.
Hey, we'll go ahead and get those plugs in before we get you out Hey,
Hey man, don't forget you can catch me and my guy Tanner on Hear Me Out with my guy Rec Room Sporty, aka J on the MIC. We're doing that on Tuesdays. We're gonna run about 3 or 4 concurrently and see how it goes back to back. And then we're gonna open the doors for competition with the Let's Talk Sports homies. So I need you to get ready. Okay? Because I'm gonna call on you, Mr. First Down. I'm going to call on you, Josh. I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to bring all that acumen because you know why? If we're going to put anybody in the ring, we're going to mix up the promotions, baby. I'm going to get Bodkins in the ring. I'm going to get you in the ring. We're going to do baseball. I love that show with Jonathan the other day. We got to get the baseball guy in the building. I love him. Yeah, definitely. So please, everybody, check us out. Like I said, Rec Room Sports on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. I'm still your boy K-Wit. On everything, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. And, holla at me. And shout out to Tanner, man, doing a great job. The man does not sleep.
No.
I think he does the bat thing where he stands up against the wall and then goes. Yeah, right, exactly.
Hey, if you didn't catch his picks in the NFC North, that's what he'd be doing. You know what I mean?
I heard
there's
that.
the lack of sleep in those picks. I'll tell you that.
Hey, man, can't disrespect Kurt Thuggins, okay?
Hey, we'll see you later, brother. We'll catch you later.
All right, man.
Other fights.
Y'all have a good one now.
You too, man.
You too, Whit.
Man, I love Whit every time. Brings a lot of energy.
Yeah, he's a blast, bro.
He's so knowledgeable when it comes to fight game too.
Extremely.
Yes, extremely knowledgeable. Enjoy him. Let's go ahead and get our final thoughts out of here. We'll start with you, Mr. Depressed Man, Johnny Cruz.
Just to end is where we started as far as the injuries in the NFL.
Give him the big screen.
Let's just hope
the big
that
screen.
I'm saying that we have a clean off season the rest of the way. No more injuries, man. We want to see we want to see the best players play when this season starts. So let's just hope for positive vibes and everybody gets through this spring, the training camp and exhibition season. Let's get through this healthy and have the best players in the world playing and ready to go week 1. So hopefully Joe Burrow comes back well and everybody else is okay and we don't get any more injuries. On that same front, shout out to Dan Harris. Hasn't been feeling 100%. We got nothing but love for you, Dan. So you keep on fighting and you feel better, bro. And we'll do the best we can to hold it down for you. And can't wait to talk to you soon, bud.
Yeah. Mr. Hall of Famer Scott Cobe, give us your bets, and then I know you have a little something else you want to say.
Yeah, no bets because
no bets tomorrow.
No, I haven't looked at it tomorrow. Today's
he ain't feeling the baseball. He ain't feeling the baseball.
Hey, Scott, hammer the Cardinals over the Cubs tomorrow. I'm going to be at the game. I know the Cubs are hot. We're won 6 in a row, but me and Craig Koger, my buddy, we've been to over half a dozen games together. Home team has always won, whether we're at Busch, we've been to Target, we've been to Wrigley, we've been to Brewer, Miller Park. Like, we've been to several different stadiums. Home team has always won. So hammer the Cardinals tomorrow night.
Not tonight. Justin Steele won against the Cardinals tonight, 10-3. So that didn't happen tonight.
I said tomorrow, Scott. I said tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Tomorrow.
So lately, I've gotten into a Hall of Fame. I've been on an Auction Brief national podcast. I'm hosting a fantasy heavyweight next Wednesday night on my show. I'm grateful for everything that's happened. I've come from a poor community in Massachusetts to where I am now on the best show on Let's Talk Sports, the #1 show. Knowing all these guys that I work with on this show and other shows too. You got to enjoy what happens in your life right now. You got to enjoy your life and all the successes that come and all the things that come in your life. So I just wanted to say that I'm grateful to Dan Harris and to everybody that's on the show for the laughs, the entertainment, and all the information that we provide for everybody. And I'm grateful for Ed in the comment section too. He's
oh my gosh, he's killing me.
Well said.
So enjoy your life. Enjoy everything that comes your way.
It's precious, man.
and it's precious. Yeah.
Hey, we
and
supposed to
love
save the
everybody.
sad, sappy stuff for Sam. I mean, Jesus.
Is
You
my
know,
stuff sad?
We
I didn't
all
think
feeling
mine
some
was
kind of way
sad.
today, bro.
hey, Scott, I know you said you're poor. I know the mafia should have been taking care of your family. Your dad was hanging around with Whitey Bulger and stuff. He wasn't getting any deals done there.
Daddy
In
Boston.
the Winter Hill community, we know where all the bodies are buried, so we can't.
You ain't getting no kickbacks.
No, I don't get any kickbacks. My dad's not around anymore. He took the kickbacks with him. So
My dad took the kickbacks to the liquor store, and they ain't never seen him since.
Yeah, we are dark on the pod today, baby. Golly.
Sam, Sam, after your week off, I'm surprised you were able to stay up this late and kill it. So go ahead and get to your final thoughts here.
Sam McKee.
Oh, all right. Hey, how we doing? I was thinking about some things the other day. I know, rare occurrence, but it happens. And I started thinking about where I was in life and where I am now and things I'm working on. Okay. But I was looking up things about stagnation. You don't want to be stagnation in your life. Okay. You don't want to be stuck. All right. It might seem like you're stuck now, but I'm talking about more of working on yourself. So like we all know we have shortcomings. We all know our weaknesses. And I don't think we should just sit there and say, well, I'm not going to work on them. This is who I am. Work on yourself. Become a better person. You can do it. I promise you.
Well
That's
said.
all I got. Thanks.
Tanner, your final thoughts here.
Serious outro night.
Yeah,
tonight.
Tanner, do you want to? Yeah, Tanner, you want to kill a puppy or something just to,
Throw it against the freaking wall.
Okay.
Otani, tonight, guys. He pitched a complete game, hit 2 bombs.
Nice.
You just never, you don't ever see that. So
Tweaked his back though. Tweaked his back.
oh, did he also injured himself on the same
Yeah,
time?
that's what that. Yeah, that's. I just caught a Twitter thing that said he tweaked his back. He'll be
What a
back
legend.
tomorrow.
I tell you what, man. That was kind of cool to see on my when I popped up. So, but guys, I'm 4 days away from doing a fantasy football mock drafts every night in August.
Yeah.
Get ready. So just like I did last year, I'm actually really excited for this year because it helped me a lot last year winning my 4 leagues. Not the LTS one, whatever. But this year will be different. But it's.
I was about to say Nick was about to correct
no,
you.
I know. I know it was.
no,
league.
yeah.
I'll take care of this league. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
Picking myself out yet. Anyways, but I got that coming up here in 4 days. Just realized, the first is right around the corner. So, I'll pay attention, hit that bell. I'll be around. You'll see a lot more of this pretty face.
Oh my
It's
God.
gonna be dynamic.
This guy. Look at this guy.
Oh no. I'm out.
I mean,
I'm out.
did you say something about LTS and fantasy? Well, you must have been talking about me, baby. That's right.
Ed, don't ever change, Ed.
Stay healthy, Ed. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. That's right. You must have been talking about me, baby, when you're talking about fantasy and LTS. The champ is always here. The champ is always waiting for any takers. But no, it's been a great show. Shout out. I love this. It's really it's that, I guess since we're all getting emotional tonight, it's really that 2 hours plus where everything just goes away. And it's just having fun and really just enjoying all our guests. Shout out Dan Bronson. Killed it. And Guy Witt as well, killed it. I'm gonna be chilling tomorrow night with the boys, watching Cubs cards. Cubs 500, baby, 500, taking that 6-game winning streak in. They're gonna lose it tomorrow because I'm gonna be in the stands, so I'm prepared to lose. So, but then Saturday night we got the fights, and then Sunday morning I'm taking my daughters. Sometimes you got to be a dad and get to take your daughters to their very first professional baseball game. Unfortunately, we're going to go see Tanner's Royals. So, it is what it is, but they're not going to see baseball, I guess, But anyway, I enjoy the show, everybody. We'll be back Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Central. For all the guys, it's been another great episode. Be a friend. Tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. Hopefully, like Johnny said, no more injuries, man. We want to see all the people get healthy. We want to see everybody week 1 ready for football. See you guys. Tanner, hit that outro. My internet didn't only froze once tonight, so that's a plus, baby.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
Life better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep, move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on this scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no.